usually wakes up about 7:15, that I try and wake up about 6 o'clock and do like half an hour, just like a little home workout as well. If I know I can't, just try and get that in. And also now she's a little bit older, she can play for half an hour if she's in front of me. So I've discovered how good half an hour workouts are at the minute, because I'm used to training like an hour, 2 hours, but just fitting in little bits when I can. That's probably been really helpful for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm a first time mum, so maybe I was naive to that. I didn't think that was going to be a thing, but it is so hard to be away from it. And I think they talk about that resentment to your partner, and I definitely have had that, because he can go to the gym for 2 hours and he comes back and he's fine. I go to the gym, and whether it be half an hour, 45 minutes, I'm constantly checking my phone if my mum's minding it, and I'm like, is she okay? And then you do feel guilty, because you just think, should I be with her 24 hours a day? And I've taken an hour away from her, and is she going to miss me? Are people looking at me thinking I'm a bad mum? But more and more mums that I talk to, the more time I spend as a mum, I'm a better mum when I'm a better me. So if I've gone to the gym for an hour just because the physical side of it, of keeping healthy and being a good role model and inspiration for her when she grows up, to see her mum is strong, she's fit, she's healthy, but also mentally, like, I love going to the gym. That's always been my me time, my escape from the real world, and time when you can just focus on yourself. And I'm always better when I come back to her, because we've kind of been like, right, oh, breathe, I've had an hour to myself, whether it's going to the gym or when I go and get my nails done, or something like that. And then I come back to her, and I don't think she misses me too much, but yeah, I definitely think that it is tough to deal with. But yeah, I think having that alone time and remembering that you're still you at the end of the day. I'm still Roxy, I'm not just Beatrix's mum. And I think that's a learning curve, but I'm definitely realising that it's definitely helping me to be a better mum and to feel more like me again. It's really hard. I remember the first few weeks, and obviously, I'm breastfeeding when your milk supply is establishing. I have never been so hungry in my entire. It was literally, I remember sat there like 2 o'clock in the morning eating cookies, like feeding it, and I was like, I could eat a horse. I was that hungry. And then as we've got older and got into routine, she has got allergies now. She's dairy, soya, and egg. I've got allergies to them, so my diet's had to change. And I found that hard as well, because things like Greek yogurt or a protein shake or grabbing boiled eggs that you've left in the fridge were really good high protein snacks. Taking that away from me, and I'm like, oh, what do I eat? There are, the vegan alternatives, and there are food I can eat, but that's been quite hard. So what I found I've done is, when her dad's off at a weekend, I'm like, there's your daughter, look after for an hour. I just need to prep some food that I can throw in the freezer, cook some food, leave it in the fridge, so that when I have got half an hour or I'm balancing a baby on my hip, I've got my other hand to be able to eat something that's readily prepared. But yeah, it's been really tough, that trying to find that balance with your diet and getting back to, because you're exhausted and all you want is sugar. And I found the more sugar I was eating, the more my blood sugars were going up and down, my mood swings were everywhere. The more sugar I ate, the more I wanted. So I'm not dieting, I'm just trying to get back to eating healthy food, making sure it's balanced with protein, carbs, fats. But I'm not gonna lie, the freezer's full of vegan ice cream, and there's chocolate in the fridge, because I need them to survive, I think, at the minute. Just probably the mummy MOT, which, because I went for my 6-week GP appointment, I was really disappointed in the lack of, it was more, are you feeling upset? Do you need antidepressants? And I was like, no, I don't. And then they'd say, well, the delivery that you had, surely you're feeling a bit depressed about it. And I was like, no, it wasn't the delivery that I wanted, but I got the baby I've always wanted. I've recovered. There was no physical examination of me, nothing. I got told, oh, you've got diastasis, you've got that split abs, don't do anything, stop carrying her in a car seat, stop walking in a pram, it'll make it worse. And there was no checking of my pelvic floor or help there. So I went for a mummy MOT, which obviously paid for privately with a women's health specialist. And I'd worked with Kate all the way through pregnancy anyway. And that really helped me, because obviously she looks at, did I have ab separation? I knew I had ab separation anyway. I could feel it myself, and then looked at pelvic floor function, and she picked up on things that, that my short muscles in my pelvic floor were fine, but it was my longer ones that I couldn't really hold them. So gave me exercises, rehab work to do for both my core and my pelvic floor. And I think it's really important, not just for women that train, but for every woman. You think you're constantly picking up your baby. I don't know if anyone's put babies in car seats, but they're so heavy. It's like, oh my God, I'm like constantly at an angle carrying them, we're putting the washing in, doing things like that. Every woman is lifting weights, moving around. And then obviously your pelvic floor, sneezing and then wetting yourself. That's not normal, but women are led to believe that, oh, you've had a baby, that's what it's supposed to be. So obviously doing things like that, I think it's really important for every woman. And one of my friends was like, oh, I had a C-section, so I don't need to work on my pelvic floor. And I was like, but for 9 months you carried a baby, all that amniotic fluid, everything was pushing down on your pelvic floor. You do, and I'm not trained in it, and that's why I went to see a specialist. But the more I worked with her, I could see how you didn't have to have a vaginal birth to damage your pelvic floor. Or pregnancy, you are going to see pelvic floor dysfunction. I think it's 90% of women by the 3rd trimester, the end of it, have got ab separation. Your belly's got to go somewhere. So I think going to see a specialist or asking for a referral, or if you have got a brilliant GP, just asking, what can I do? What rehab work can I do? And then especially if you want to go back into training, because I think they say it's 3 years after you've given birth that you're more at risk of a prolapse if you've done nothing to help repair your body. And obviously your pelvic floor goes through a lot, 9 months, and then labour, and obviously a lot of cesareans, whether they're planned or whether it's the emergency, you've gone through labour, you're trying to push. So yeah, I think going to see a specialist just to help repair your body is probably one of my biggest tips. I think if more mums were real about the struggle and how hard it is, women would know it's normal. It's not me that's a bad mum because I'm finding it hard, or I'm struggling, or trying to navigate back to who you were before you had a baby. And it's not a bad thing to want that, because you're still you at the end of the day. I'm just Roxy, but now I'm Roxy the mum. I'm still in there, but yeah, it's that mind shift. And I just think the more and more people that speak about it and are honest, the more comfortable women are going to feel of admitting, God, this is hard. This is so, I don't think anyone can prepare you for how hard it suddenly hits you when you come home from hospital and you're like, I don't know what to do.